What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And you know, I get yelled at for pulling back the curtain a little too often around here, but I do have to say today that this week's podcast was almost canceled because one of us has to sleeve thousands of Pokemon cards. I'm not going to say who it is. I'll let that up to the viewers to decide, but I'm joined, as always, by Joe Day and EP Eric Mihalik. How you doing, boys?
I ain't sleeving shit. I said before, we're all going to the card show. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that. I ain't sleeving nothing. You're coming to my table. You're coming to, well, my portion of EP's table. And you're just going to get what you get. I'm just there for a good time, not a long time. So I am just going to throw out a couple of boxes of star cards, put them super cheap, undercut whatever EP's prices are, right at his own table, and then go on from there. That's my whole goal.
It's a good business.
I ain't leaving nothing. Yeah. I think that's a good business model.
I gotta tell you, dude, if you're gonna be undercutting me, you're not gonna make any money whatsoever because I'm gonna have all 25 centers, baby. Like it's I'm selling from the collection that I bought for Mike, the football card collection, and they're all already sleeved. So just to give you just a wink, who the person
20
is.
cents. 20 cents.
20 cents. Oh, God.
Coming in at 20 cents.
I'm selling the high end stuff. My cards are going to be 50 cents.
50 cents.
You know, unless you're bringing a boatload of cash, you might not want to come to my table because 50 cents, twice what EP is selling for. Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't
You have to price your cards to make them seem important. It's all fair. A mental thing. The lower your price, people are just going to think it's junk. So, you know,
do you have the pricing gun for every card?
I used to do that. I had to do that.
Yeah, you did.
Too much. How's it going, boys? What is new and exciting?
Well, I'm going to let EP, you're going to have a beer, I'm sure. I'm not going to have a beer, but in a weird twist, I think Mike might be having a beer, and I'm gonna let you guys crack those open before I tell my story of pain and heartache.
All right.
Okay. So crack open your beers, boys, for Joe Day Story Hour here. Real quick before I get into the story, that was a good sound. Good sound and crack.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, look at that! There it is. There it is.
Okay, the pour is really bad, but
it's not a great pour.
But it shows off the logo really well, though.
Look at that. Look at that. Okay, there was a whole reason for me having a beer this week.
There it is.
Look at that. Mike's Retro Trading Cards beer stein mug, whatever you want to call it, glass. Look at that. They're not available on the website that we're using to sell stuff now. Because unfortunately, the one we were selling stuff from, I ordered that in February and I just got it this past week.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we encourage our viewers not to buy anything from the old one, which we don't promote anymore. But if you're looking for a t-shirt or a hat, in the link below, and down in the comment, or not the comments, in the description, there's a link there. So go buy yourself something.
Exactly. And you know, it's never too early to start buying for Christmas, is what I always say. So, you've got get those Christmas gifts out of the way. I did want to make a quick note. We did the Diamond King documentary review last week. Was great. We did, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, the Diamond King. And it was great. The documentary is fantastic. So if you haven't gone and at least rented it and watched it or purchased it, I strongly recommend you do. The reason I bring it back up, though, is I don't know if he reached out to you boys, but our friend Mike Summer, Wax Pack Hero, he did an 8 questions with us, friend of the channel, reached out to me, complimented us on the review, and then let me know he was actually in it. I did not recognize him. So Mike Summer, another great reason to watch that documentary. Our boy Mike Summer is in that. He sent me the video clip of where he was in it, but he was doing one of the testimonials at the National, where we saw some other folks that we had known as well. But yeah, so shout out to Mike Summer. Thank you for the compliment on the review. All right, so boys, I finally got. I got.
Oh no.
the thing that I think out of all of us, I think we're all in lockstep that we, as an idea, appreciate the eBay authentication program. I think I am probably the most vocal in support of that. I've used it numerous times as a buyer and a seller. I recently sold a Leonard Nimoy autograph that I had bought that had gone through the eBay Yeah, you know who Leonard Nimoy is. Like that. Yeah. People would be checking for brain damage if you didn't. But anyway,
Mike, he's from Star Wars.
Yeah, he's from
okay.
He's from Star Wars, right? God, are you both? I don't know. I'm like 50% thinking you're screwing with me, and 50% because I know you guys thinking you might be that dumb. And that's saying out of love.
Never know.
But anyway,
never know, Joe.
Yeah, that's true. Brain damage, drugs, whatever. It could be anything. But anyway, so I had purchased a Leonard Nimoy autograph card went through eBay authentication, got it. It was up here in this case for a little while. I found one I liked a little bit better, presented a little bit nicer. The autograph was just a smidge better. The one I had was good, but the autograph was a smidge better. So I ended up selling the one I had purchased. It was up there a day. It's a very liquid card. It was up there a day before someone came and bought it. Sent it off, and I got the dreaded email. Now, when I first saw there was something wrong with the card from eBay authentication, I thought, wait a minute, it can't be fake. It can't be fake because it went through eBay authentication once, but then we had the story last week where I guess that doesn't really matter. It's not fake. It was authenticated, but they were saying that there was quote unquote minor damage. That is the phrasing, minor corner damage, and it was not up to the standards that it was or like the level that I had promoted it at or whatever. Like I had listed it as near mint, and they said it would not be near mint or better. Now keep in mind, near mint is a PSA 7.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the card back yesterday. I'm sorry, Saturday, 2 days ago. Yes, there is minor corner damage. There is no way that card is below a 7. Okay, I refuse to believe it. These are the options for card condition: poor, very good, excellent, which is a PSA 6, correct?
I think so, yeah.
And then near mint or better. So you're telling me that card would have to be a 6, maybe a 6.5 if eBay or PSA uses the 6.5 scale, which they hardly ever use a half. But you're telling me that card is below a PSA 7. I refuse to believe that card is great. It would be graded that low. And I don't know, maybe the guy who got screwed out of a $5,000 Anthony Hardaway card, maybe he needed the guy authenticating that Leonard Nimoy card to take a better look because he's looking for minor corner damage. You know, he would have found out that $5,000 penny card was fake. Like I just, and this is, I'm not just complaining about this now for the first time. I complained about it a couple of weeks ago when same thing happened with my friend John, who had sold a couple of cards. He put near mint or better. And again, those cards look like 7s at worst. So eBay authentication is great. eBay through PSA pre-grading cards, not so much. I mean, this is what happens, and there have been issues with this program since PSA has taken over the raw card review of it, the raw card authentication from CGC. There's been issues, not just mine, not just John's, but we've talked about issues on the channel before. I think they need to go back to authenticating and not pre-grading cards, but that's what happens when there's going to be an option for you to then have your card graded. When you buy it through PSA, or I'm sorry, when you buy it through eBay, you can get it graded through PSA. So the buyer, I guess, had buyer's remorse. He was hoping to get a 10, I guess. I don't know, out of this card. He did reject it. He has the option. He could have accepted it. He did reject it. The card was sent back to me. So the last thing I'm going to say about this, I am going to relist the card today, Monday, and I'm going to let it run for the week. If it sells with the updated, has minor corner damage, I guess I'll have to put it down as excellent, right? which is ridiculous.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna list it today. If it does not sell by this coming weekend, I'm gonna do something I didn't think I'd do for a long time. I'm gonna do something that I thought I was done.
Do it.
I'm gonna grade the card. I'm gonna send it off to be graded. Now, for all you Joe Day fans out there, like, Joe Day, how dare you? We hate that you're grading a card now. Don't worry, only out of spite. I only grade now out of spite. I will be sending the card to SGC. I'm going to send it off to SGC to get graded because I would like to get it back, I don't know, this year. So I'm going to send it off to be graded, and we'll see. My guess is it does not get below a 7. I'm going to throw that out there now. But it's a beautiful card. It's a real shame. And the guy, the buyer, I'm a little upset that they said no, but it's a liquid card. And he clearly, as a buyer, is more interested in the condition of the card than he is the auto, because Nimoy has a notoriously streaky auto. This one is really nice and bold. So, but that's it. If that's how he collects, that's fine. That's not how I collect autos. But yeah, so there it is. I got by the eBay authentication program. So, or I'm sorry, the eBay pre-grading through PSA program. I'll start calling it now.
Yeah, I mean, we all love the program. I mean, I believe we all love the program. Like, it's great in concept. But I mean, if you're going to have somebody that's, I mean, the PSA, the person at PSA that is, or the person, PSA representative who looked at this card has to understand what the grading scale is, right? Like, near min is a 7, like that should be understandable. But based on what you're saying, there was absolutely no way. I haven't seen the card myself, but there's no way this card is below a 7.
I'll take a picture and send it to you guys after the show. Yeah. But it's not. There's no way.
Yeah, so like, this is part of the reason why if I have a card like that, I'm getting it graded no matter what, just because I don't want to deal with the headaches of any of this sort of stuff. And I realize that I'm throwing away money by doing it, but it just makes it. I'm all about, like, I don't have extra hurdles to jump over when I'm trying to sell cards and stuff. So if I have a higher end card, I'm probably going to get it graded just because I don't have to deal with what Joe dealt with here.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is the way eBay has it set up, like, predates the authentication, and it's not, their scale doesn't match a PSA grading scale. Right. So anything I sell, I learned this a long time ago, I put excellent, because they're going to nitpick it for some reason if it says near mint. I believe that mean that the authentication is looking at that thinking this should be perfect, even though card collecting wise that shouldn't be perfect. But I think in eBay's scheme of thing, that's supposed to be no issues with this thing, so I always drop it down a level. But, like, even if it were a grading thing, it's not professionally graded. Like, you're holding people who are selling something not professionally graded to the standards of professionally graded. If there are obvious issues, yes. If there's an obvious difference in the condition, but they need to change the way they have their conditions for listing cards and stuff like that to somehow better match, like, no issues at all, minor issues, like, just something that has a little better scale so people know, because this kind of stuff, I bet, happens way more than we realize. So,
well, my concern for that would be, then I think they would probably go with like a PSA scale, and they'd be telling us to grade the cards, put a 7 on it or 8 on it or something like that. And that's why I'd like, we shouldn't be doing that. Like, that seems like a whole other world. Your idea is great though, Mike. I love that. Like, excellent condition, minor issues like that. That would be the way to go. But
that's how I'm going to have to list it now. Like I said, I'm going to list it for a week. The reason I'm giving it to the week is because we are going with you boys to the card show. I'll be in Danville this weekend. And I did tell our buddy Mike Jones, like I offered to you guys, hey, I'm sending some stuff to SGC if you're interested. Put a few cards aside. So that's kind of why I'm giving myself that deadline. I'll pull it off of eBay if it doesn't sell, and I'm going to list it for what I listed it before. I am going to quote, according to eBay's pre-grading, it does have minor corner damage. Here is as up close of a picture of that little white dot as it, but everything else is fantastic. And just it is the buyer's prerogative. They can absolutely reject that. I'm one of those collectors who give me a PSA 6 card with a PSA 10 auto versus the other way around. Mm-hmm. Like this card was already priced to move. So I don't know. It really felt like buyer's remorse to me as soon as he saw it out. I think that's what happened.
We put up at the same price. You know, put the same price on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Because it'd still be lower than the next highest. You know, the one sold for like $500. I had this one. This one sold for like $570. I think was the price. One sold for like $500 with a faded. No, I'm not talking streaky, faded auto. Like that auto is not going to be on the card in about 5 years, and it sold for $450 or $500. So, but hey, I bet you those corners are sharp. So that's really all that matters. But yeah, that's my story. Yeah, maybe they aren't, but that's my eBay authentication story. I'm with you, EP. I probably will. Like cards like that, I really don't want to grade. I'll either go that route, Mike, and just put excellent for everything now, or consider sending things off just to have them in a slab, and so people can't bitch about it.
My one concern with excellent is like people are going to be messaging you then too, and like saying, "Well, I mean, can you send more photos of like this and that? Like, what do you think it would grade?" And I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. So I just like if I get it graded, then I can just not deal with that. The headache. That's how I look at it.
What's new and exciting with you, EP?
Well, first off, just rumble of thunder here. I don't know. I can't talk because my light is keeping my face bright, but it is super dark in here right now. So if it's something,
you look like you're being interrogated down there. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it got super dark in the room. All of a sudden, there's a thunderstorm going on. But just to warn everybody in case something were to happen. But yeah, football cards. Apparently, like. I'm just dealing with football cards, lots and lots and lots of football cards. Mike, how many cards would you say is in that collection? If you had to guess, what would you say?
Oh,
like I figured out the capacity of the number, like the boxes.
It took you 2 trips. It took you 2 trips.
Yeah, and then the three. By the way, after I picked up the last of it last week, when Mike texted me, "Hey, say I found 3 more super shoe boxes," and I just picked up like I don't know 4 times 10, like 40, like 35ish. 1,600 count shoe boxes. I was like, oh, he misspoke. He just meant 3 shoe boxes. No, they were super shoe boxes. The 3 were super shoe boxes. When you open, I don't know if you saw me when you opened up your trunk, and I was like, oh gosh, they actually are super shoe boxes. So so many more cards, but there's a lot of cards. If you had to guess, Mike, how many cards would you say was in that collection? If you had to guess, I don't have a number. I'm just trying to figure out.
I would say there has to be like 60 or 70,000 cards. I think that's very conservative too.
Yeah, I think so too. I was thinking more like possibly 80,000. Like there is a lot of cards. There's a lot of cards in it. So I'm still going through that. I'm having a blast. I found a Cardsupial last night. I texted these guys and I said, I've never owned, this was the small one of Rashaan Salam. So not like a major player or whatever.
You got to get the big one now though.
I'm thinking about trying to find the big one because I mean, like I've never owned a Cardsupial, so to have the big or the small Cardsupial, so I have one of those now. It's cool. I found a refractor out of 5. I found a on-card autograph, in-person on-card autograph of James Thrash, who I mean, he's Yankees or Yankees. He's a Eagles uniform, so I'm going to put that out the card show just because he's an Eagles guy. So I found so much cool stuff, and more importantly, like again, I keep saying it, reliving all these players from all these days, but also I'm finding sets that I never saw back in the day, which is awesome. I'm still finding sets that I've never seen and experienced. So
he's cool. Asking me, Mike, on the side, who was asking me, hey, are you putting together like a Neil O'Donnell page or anything, or a Warren Moon binder?
Yeah,
and cool Neil O'Donnell looking cards like Dewfax, anything like that. I'm in on numbered stuff. Steelers uniform, obviously. Or Warren Moon in his Seahawks uniform. Any of those, pull them for me. I'm interested. So,
all right,
there you go.
There you go.
I'm going to need pictures though. Front and back. I'm going to need front and back pictures of
close-ups of the corners too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The corners are huge.
Absolutely.
Corners are huge.
Well, hopefully he'll get that ready before this Saturday because we are all going to be at the Susquehanna Valley Mall Card Show in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania again. if you're within a 30-hour drive, you're expected to be here.
31,
30,
I think.
31.
Yeah,
I forget
31,
where I
somewhere
set
around
the
there.
limit at,
Yeah.
but you should be here. There's no reason to go to the National when you can go to the Susquehanna Valley Mall and meet the three of us. I can't even say that without laughing. But by all means, again, I'm not joking. If you're a subscriber of the channel and you are at the show, come up to me and tell me you're a subscriber, because I'm going to have a little something for you.
He's signing autographs, everybody. He's signing autographs.
I am not signing autographs, so don't get too excited, but I'm going to have a little something to show our appreciation. So, yes, that is, again, the Susquehanna Valley Mall in beautiful Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania. If you haven't been to central Pennsylvania, you didn't miss much, but it is a nice rural area. There are a lot of places in the country that don't have rolling hills and deep vegetation growing everywhere and pickup trucks everywhere. And I'm trying to get out of it.
Manure. You'll smell manure. It'll be phenomenal.
Only in the spring and fall.
Selinsgrove's like a national tree town too, or something like that. Like, because they have a lot of trees in the town. You'll never actually make it to the town if you come to the show, because you're going to be coming off the highway. But the town itself is like a tree town or something like that.
I don't know what the hell a tree town is, but hey. All right, let's get into it. Hopefully we'll see you there, though. Let us know in the comments. Are you coming to see us? Nobody's going to come see us. Why would you come see us? Everybody is probably more than 30 hours away. So if you are, you don't have to be there. But if we find out you're closer.
If you live in Chicago, you better drive to our show instead of going to the National.
Right. Yeah.
If EP ends up subscribing to our channel, does he get a free gift? As not a subscriber, if he is a new subscriber, since he is not a subscriber to the channel,
he won't.
Currently,
He won't do that.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of work for him.
Yeah, that would be a lot of work. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the thing that Joe did not want to talk about.
And I don't have my thing to beam me up.
No.
Get me the hell out of here, Scotty.
It turns out there are potentially fake autographs in the hobby.
No.
Oh,
what?
Okay, now there was a Facebook post by Brett Lemieux, who ran a company called Mr. Man Cave that sold autographed memorabilia. We are aware of what happened to Mr. Lemieux. We're not going to be talking about that because we don't feel like it's relevant to the story. But if you don't know, you can look it up and find out for yourself.
We're focusing on the hobby.
Yeah, we are. But he made a Facebook post claiming, now keep in mind, he's claiming this, that he is responsible for more than $4 million fake items, worth, and sold over $350 million worth of fake autographs and fake authentication stickers. He claims to have created over 5 million Fanatics holograms that he has sold, the stickers, and over 3 million JSA that were sold to different other people that were faking autographs. So the main story here is he's claiming that he was at the top of this ring and he was creating fake autographs, fake stickers, and selling the stickers to other fakers who had fake stuff. I have no doubt personally that is true, that he was doing stuff. The numbers, I feel, are probably heavily inflated because it doesn't seem possible to be able to do that much stuff. He also had claimed that he was making holograms and fake cards for Panini's entire database of cards. Again, this is just his claim. Fanatics was the only company that actually responded to this. They said that they were aware of the situation. They were actually working with authorities on this. They changed their sticker authentication 2 years ago, I believe, to try to make it more counterfeit proof. Although, does it really matter when the sticker was made on an autograph? This is the issue that we have. But Fanatics is claiming if these numbers would be anywhere near accurate, they would have been much more aggressive. So let's really not harp too much on the numbers, because I think pretty much collectively the hobby has decided that those numbers were probably an exaggeration of a man who was kind of at the end of the line with this stuff and was trying to burn down the whole autograph industry. But at the same time, this is clearly an issue. And we've talked about autographs, even on cards, like the sticker autographs and stuff. How do you know what's real anymore when you're seeing cards on stickers on cards that aren't being authenticated by Topps, like the messy cards? Apparently, the auto pen technology is getting really good at faking stuff, but doing variations of the autograph, so it's not exactly the same every time, which, shocker, imagine that they have that technology in a world where you can type a couple words into a AI program and it can give you a whole script for a movie. So yeah, I believe auto pens have probably caught up to the game. If you don't get an autograph in person anymore, especially, I'm speaking mostly on memorabilia, because still you have to put some kind of trust in some of the companies that they're doing things the right way. But if you're collecting jerseys or autographed footballs or baseballs, if you didn't get it in person, odds are it might not even be real, right? We're to that point where it's probably more likely it's not real than is real.
Like, and it's weird. Can we have we should have paused you in the middle of that description, Mike, and had Carl talk about the Black Swamp find, because this was it Operation Bullpen, right? That was in that hobby documentary that authorities are saying this is the biggest autograph scam since Operation Bullpen, which was in that, which I still consider that a bad documentary. It was not a hobby documentary. It was salient to what we're talking about today because of the whole autograph thing, but still it didn't truly feel like a card hobby documentary. But regardless, yeah, I would never feel comfortable buying an autograph on a football, a jersey, an 8x10. And to the point about the sticker, well, Fanatics didn't say, okay, everyone send your stuff back in so we can put these new stickers on. Like stickers from PSA, from JSA, all of those from 20 years ago when PSA and JSA started authenticating autographs, however long, maybe even 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago at this point. All those stickers are not being replaced with counterfeit proof stickers. So a counterfeiter could just say, oh, no, we had this autographed and authenticated 10 years ago. Who's to say? Who's to know? Now, I just, and I say this again, I every time we talk about autographs, I always say, I understand. Here I am talking about autographs being fake.
They're all fake, Joe.
They're all fake. I like, is it bad that I think to myself, at first I'm like kind of worried about, oh my God, all my autographs could be fake. And I'm like, I could reach out to Steve Cherndorf. Not say that he wouldn't. Yeah, I feel comfortable with Rittenhouse's autographs not being fake, right? But buying an autograph off of eBay on a piece of memorabilia, I don't know how you trust it anymore. Like 0%. You have to go in assuming that it's fake, which is a terrible place to be in. And while I agree that the numbers probably are inflated, because even the guy from Operation Bullpen seemed very proud and boisterous about what he could and couldn't do in autograph faking and saying, oh, some of the that they use as references are my fakes. They like to talk themselves up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was talking himself up or tearing down the entire autograph world. That being said, everyone hopes that the number's inflated. Fanatics is telling you it is because they really hope it is. Because if you have that many fake autos out there, even if you have a quarter of that number, it's still a lot of fakes, and that's one operation. And for them to be able to put the technology into the variation of auto pens, because that was my first thought. Well, all of Dak Prescott's autos from 2015 or 16, whenever his rookie year, they all look the same. That's how people could tell that it was an auto pen. Now, if you have that technology to be able to change it, that's scary. And to be able to print the stickers and the holograms, that right there is the scariest part of this whole thing, because you don't even have to be good at faking those autos. It could be a BS auto, and someone from a mile away could say, "Ooh, that does not look like a Steph Curry auto," but boy, it's got a sticker though.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, well,
There's a sticker that has Panini in the sticker.
has Panini, has JSA, has whatever. And Chris Sewell also did a video, and he doesn't really talk about news and stuff like that. So go and watch Chris Sewell's video if you haven't already. It's like 15 minutes, but he's like, how can you trust anything? How can we trust this industry, just autographs in general? Because just like grading, sometimes it's subjective when you're looking at an autograph of whether or not it's real.
Yeah.
Like the certainty we put in, even sending something ourselves to actually get authenticated, the certainty that the guy looking at it or gal looking at it can say 100% sure this is a Steph Curry auto. Just like 100%, this would not get a PSA 7. You sons of bitches. Never forget that. But yeah, it's all subjective, and it's all, you can't be certain unless you physically go up to an athlete or actor or whatever and have them sign something for you at this point.
Yeah, in-person autos are the only safe way to go. Like there was a time, if you told like 10 years ago EP, or maybe 15 years ago EP, about this story, I would be like, oh my gosh. But the thing is, like several years ago, I started realizing to myself that even that sticker, seeing that sticker on something doesn't mean it's actually real. Like that was the scary part to me. Like when you think about that, when you think about buying autos, yes, you feel like it's maybe more real. And Mike, you alluded to the stuff coming out of packs, like the pack pulled autographs. Like you have to put some trust in them because like it's coming out of a pack, and it's in theory it's vetted by the company and stuff like that. So I give them a little bit. I would hope that their autos are a little bit more, even though with the evidence that we have with the Lionel Messi, all that sort of stuff. Like there's definitely are instances, or probably a lot more that we know about, where they are actually
big names.
Yeah, a couple
big names. Messi, Dak, Luka.
Yeah, if the big names are there, then a lot of the smaller names are doing it too. So, to your point about the auto pen, one of the things that I thought was interesting in the article that I read about this was that one guy would spend like hours working on the auto pen to make sure it just got the auto just right, like spending hours just like fiddling with the auto pen and the settings and stuff. And that to me is just insane to think about. Like you said, Mike, the technology of the auto pens now, it's just it's wild. The numbers are probably big. They're probably exaggerated. Like these people clearly are really stuck on themselves, even if they are in a mental state, whatever kind of mental state. But they're exaggerating these numbers 100%. Like there's no doubt they're exaggerated.
Yeah, hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked a lot in the past about autographs, and I've always been of the belief of, first of all, no matter how good you are at authenticating, it's your best guess and your opinion, your informed opinion on it. Who is to say that another person cannot copy an autograph exactly? Like you can. It's just cursive writing. People can practice that. You write a certain way because you write your name that way and you do it over and over again. Anybody else can also do that same thing. So if somebody gets so good at doing a fake, how is an authenticator ever going to know? They aren't. They just aren't. And there are people out there studying and working on it way more than we want to know. Not even in particular this case. There are people out there doing it. Like, who would have thought we'd see a day where maybe buying a random unauthenticated autograph on eBay might give you a better chance of it being real than one that is authenticated? It's just, I have no interest in buying memorabilia that's signed. It's a big part of the hobby. I know a lot of people are into it, but I can't get past the fact that, this could be fake. And I know some of the cards end up being fake. When we did the interview with Steve Cherndorf, that was where he told us about how many of the card companies buy the stickers. And I'm sure he was talking about Panini and probably Leaf too. They buy stickers from guys that had people in for private signings, and they didn't sell all of them. If they contracted a guy to do 500 autos and they sold 400, they have him sign 100 more on stickers, then they sell them. So Panini doesn't really know. Leaf doesn't really know. Topps doesn't really know most of the time. They are getting an affidavit from a player saying, yes, I signed these, or from a source where they're buying them from. In a way, I'm a little better with Messi going, I don't want to sign these, you sign these, but I'll tell them I signed them, because at least the player is the one being the jerk in that situation and screwing his fans. So, which at some point we need to put that in our mind that, Luca and Dak and Messi decided to give you fake autographs. Like, maybe you shouldn't collect their shit because they're idiots for doing that to you. But I digress. At least it makes me feel a little better knowing the players themselves are the one doing it, and not just some guy sitting in a room somewhere in the Midwest just making one autograph after the other after the other.
We also need to think about things differently, like the terminology on the backs of the cards that says a representative of Topps saw this. Like, a representative of Topps could be literally anybody who happened to have these stickers that says, oh no, he was here, he signed these. Like, that is the representative of Topps in this situation. Mm-hmm. I always thought of it as Topps sent a person to take care of this or whatever, or something like that. But it's literally a representative of Topps could be anybody who is just a partner with Topps, even if they're a partner after the things are signed by whoever.
Well, and then there are situations where I've seen stories on Twitter of someone who actually got an in-person autograph and they sent it off to be authenticated, which I don't know why you would do that anyway. It's like grading a 1-1. I just don't get it. But like, you send it off to be authenticated and they're like, oh, we can't authenticate this. We're not sure it's real. And he's like, it was mine. I literally
I handed him the thing.
I handed him the thing. So like, yeah, they are far from perfect. This is a different but kind of related thing. It's like when people photo match like game worn jerseys and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, those can be fake. Come on now. Like, I'd like the photo variation or verification matches and stuff like that. I've always think were a little shady too.
That was the whole card porn thing. Remember, that's what that guy was doing. He was faking the photographs that he was using to photo match the autograph. Like, anything that can be done can be faked. So,
yes, 100%.
And in our hobby, people are going to do it. Like, no doubt. Like,
they're no matter whatever you think, nobody is out there faking. There is somebody out there faking right now. It's just the sad part, the unspoken little dirty little secret in our hobby.
Right. And they can fake money. They're obviously going to fake cards or autographs or whatever. I mean, it's just we say this a lot on the channel. Be a vigilant buyer no matter what. Like, you have to be as sure as you possibly can be, which is getting tougher and tougher and tougher. Like, you could be the most vigilant buyer. Oh, this was authenticated. This is, verified. I looked up the cert number. I did this, I did that. And still in some cases it'd be like, no, actually that all of that stuff you did, it's fake. All that vigilance you had didn't matter because they faked a certain number, they copied a certain number, they did this, they did that. They had a sticker that looked just like the stickers that Fanatics or Panini used. Just it's a sad state of affairs where if you have a lot of money in autographs, like not specifically autograph cards, but like autograph memorabilia, and you weren't the one who had gotten it, man, how like worried are you right now? And I would really hope not that I don't know what kind of additional scrutiny places like PSA and JSA and those can do, but I really hope whatever they can do, they up their scrutiny game, which means a lot of stuff that maybe was signed. Maybe you went out to Steelers camp and TJ Watt just scribbled his name down real quick, and you go to get that authenticated, and they're like, oh, well, we can't authenticate this. It's it's not close enough. We're not going to take that chance anymore. I could see a lot more things like that getting kicked back.
Yeah, thinking, Joe, you brought up a point. Like, thinking about when we went to the National, like, there are some booths set up where the booth is just nothing but autographed jerseys, right, or autographed helmets, stuff like that. Yeah. Those people are like pooping bricks right now, right? Like, they're having a really tough time.
Yeah. It's one of you said the story about like getting a autograph in person. I know there's a guy on Twitter, a wrestling collector, who is the guitar tech for ZZ Top. and he had Billy Gibbons, the guitar player, sign some things for him, and PSA wouldn't authenticate the autographs. So that was kind of funny. The one thing, I like wrestling autographs because they go to the arena. I see it all the time. They're set up at the arena, the wrestlers signing the things there. Like, I know it's probably a pain in the butt for the athletes, but really, if we're going to be making this much money, and believe me, the athletes and the leagues with the Fanatics deal are making way more money off of this industry than they were before. There's no reason that they can't have days at camp or even during the season, like where they have an hour where they sign cards in person, where they can have an actual representative watching them do this. There are ways to do it, but if you're gonna do all this, make all this money, but you don't want to inconvenience the person then don't have them autograph. Don't let them get their cut of the money if they don't want to be inconvenienced by it. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're a professional athlete. If you're going to take money for an autograph, you should autograph stuff. It's really simple. Like, just because you're an athlete doesn't mean that you can't do that. You can. If you can't, don't take the money for it. I think it's funny, though. Maybe this Tom Brady autos from that get together where he signed a crappy auto might be the most valuable Tom Brady autos there are, because they're real.
Right. Yeah, they're 100%
no
real.
mistaking those. Yeah,
no one's faking those. Yeah, and like I've said this pretty much since, I wouldn't say episode 1, but pretty early on. I said, send representatives to training camp. Mm-hmm. Like, that's when you're going to have 90 players. You're going to get everyone's autograph at training camp. And we know Panini has completely checked out. They're losing the licenses by the end of the year and middle of next year, whenever it is, for everything. Fanatics, your whole thing was Michael Rubin's in with the players and the Players Association and the leagues and all this. Well, if he is, then there needs to be a day. Maybe it's the 10th day of training camp or whatever. And that's the Fanatics Day. That's the day that Fanatics representatives go to each one of the training camps. I'm using football as the very specific example. Obviously, I don't know how summer leagues and training camps work at basketball or whatever. But for football, training camp, when all the players before first wave of cuts, send your people there to have them autograph stuff. And maybe those are the ones that the early sets that you can do on cards. Maybe it's a high-end sets that you want to make sure you get on card autos. Maybe it's, signing pages and pages of stickers, but you are going to have Topps representatives there, Fanatics representatives there, and you're going to have them do those. I don't know why, if we're putting all this faith in Michael Rubin being this guy who knows everyone and can pull these strings, why we can't get this done. And, I'll give him until they have all the licenses. Figure it out. You have that much time to figure out how to do it the right way. Because if you don't, that whole line about you having all this pool kind of sounds like bullshit to me then. I don't know. Like, send your people out there. Oh, that's right. It would cost money, and that is money they want to get from you as a collector without spending money to do it. So, okay, I take it all back. Sorry. I apologize. There's white parties to pay for, EP. There's white parties.
Yeah, I mean, you got a great talking point, Mike. Like, you think about wrestlers, right? They are actor athletes, so maybe, like, I feel like they should be more of a diva than pro athletes should be in some ways, right? And I feel like they would be more of a diva, but clearly there are a lot of athletes that are more diva-ish than that. And I hate to put it in this regard, but they're playing a game for a couple hours a day, and I realize that they have to do training and they have to eat and they have to do all this sort of stuff, but they can't carve out time in their day, in their busy day, to fulfill their contract. They're breaking a contract when they're signing a contract, not doing it. Like, the bottom line is, like, that you don't do that stuff. Like, they're breaking a contract. That's just ridiculous to me that they can't find time a couple hours a day.
But then, Mike, you did send us the Twitter piece about Edge saying, I never signed this card. And it was actually a picture of Edge signing the card. It's like a little too many TLC matches for that man.
Little CTE going on.
TLC.
Oh, TLC.
Okay. And Quentin Rampage Jackson did the same thing like a couple weeks before, the UFC fighter, and he said he didn't sign that, and then somebody showed him that he did. He was like, oh, my bad, I forgot about it. Like, yeah, that happens like maybe you don't remember something you signed 11 years ago. So maybe just say, don't go on Twitter and say, I didn't sign that. But okay, so there's obviously an autograph issue. I think I have the solution here. I think the best way to do it is to buy cards that were already autographed and to cut the autographs out of them and make new cards. Apparently, Michael Rubin has taken my advice because in Topps Dynasty, they have cut autographs, especially everybody is talking about the Willie Stargell. Everybody wants this card. Now, remember, Topps Dynasty is only, what, $2,000 a box for
I think $2,500, right? I think,
is
on
it?
the secondary market.
I think it was only $2,000, though, if you got
2,000.
it from Topps, yeah.
Okay.
So they have a Willie Stargell cut autograph, and we know it's real. How do we know it's real? Because it comes from a card that you can buy on eBay for like 10 to 15 bucks that he signed like 1,500 or 2,000 of, or what was it, Nabisco? It was
Nabisco.
like a charity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are widely available for 10, 15 bucks on eBay. And apparently Fanatics was like, hey, that's a good deal. Let's buy a bunch, cut them out, and we'll make cards and stick them in our $2,000 product.
One card for $2,000, by me way.
Yeah.
What's the price per card? What's the price per card on that? If you had to figure,
hold on. Let me do some math on my phone here real quick. Yeah, that's $2,000 per card. Am I right? Is this right? Okay, yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I double checked. It's $2,000 per card. I'm gonna let EP took a swig of beer because he's like, shit, I'm gonna have to defend this. So he took a big swig of beer beforehand. I'm gonna let him defend this. Now, remember, EP, a couple of weeks ago, you were very upset that Panini did something with, was it Mickey Mantle? Where they took a Mickey Mantle autograph and they autograph card and they turned that into a cut card.
Yep.
So EP, I'm sure you are just as upset about this. I'll give you the floor.
They took a really cool Nabisco card and then they just ramped it up and they made it even better by cutting it up and putting it in this brand new product, this amazing product. No, this is terrible. This is ridiculous. How can you you're going to charge people $2,000 and you're going to do this? Like, it seems ridiculous. It's just it's outrageous.
It seems ridiculous, buddy.
It is ridiculous. Yeah. It's outrageous. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. First off, it's upsetting that they cut up the Nabisco cards, which are really cool, collectible in and of themselves. Then to say they have the to be ridiculous enough to take that and put that in their product. It's gross to me. I'm not going to defend it.
Like, it's only $2,000 a card.
Yeah.
Wait, maximum effort by
hold on. Let me just make sure.
Double check that. Yeah. Double check that.
Yeah. It's still $2,000 per card. Yeah. This is shout out Dan the Card Man, who I saw this posted the video about this first. I'm really interested to see what the secondary market value of that Willie Stargell is, because if it's more than $15, our hobby has gone to hell.
That's what it's going to be. The Monopoly winner are going to be paying. They're going to be, oh, look how awesome this is. They don't care about that. Yeah.
Can you imagine when you found out, when you opened up this $2,000 product, at least $2,000, if you bought it on the secondary market was more, and you pull this, like
what percentage of hobbyists actually are going to figure this out even 10 years from now? How many of them that get this card are going to know that this is a card that was from a $10 to $15 card? What percentage do you guys think?
One.
You got to be plugged in.
Like it's I get that point, but that's how Fanatics gets away with it. Right?
Oh yeah, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that's kind of where we are.
It's ridiculous. Put some effort into this stuff. Like it, and Willie Stargell, I'm assuming has passed, right?
Yeah, so quite a while ago.
Quite a while ago. So I understand when you have a cut or wanting to have a Willie Stargell autograph in there. It just, maybe you don't need one. Maybe you don't need that cut auto. Like if it was a Willie Stargell maybe if it was like a piece of jersey or something off of one of his uniforms, that'd be a little bit different. It'd be a little cooler, even if it was cheaper, but something that is so readily available. So there's a ton bought and sold through eBay for, like Mike was saying, 10 to 15 bucks. Like, like that's what makes it bad. Like him signing a check, or him signing the back of a paycheck or something, like something cool like that. But you're taking something that's already a card that's worth. That's why I didn't have as big of a problem with the mantle thing, because this is worth significantly less than what the product you're putting into it is. So I don't know. That's my base issue with it.
I would be more okay with it if they found a way to make sure the Nabisco logo was part of it, and they actually addressed it like on the back or something like that, and said about how back in whatever year Wizards was signing these cards for Nabisco, then it made it a 101 or something like that. That turns it into something interesting and unique collectible, but that also would take a lot of effort, which clearly Topps and Fanatics.
And they also included like, I don't know, $2,000 worth of Fanatics cash or whatever. So I like, I don't know. Like, I would
give me a cut Fanatics cash instead of $8 cut auto.
Yeah. Like that's, I think at the end of the day, the issue we have is they're just finding ways to take something super cheap and try and pass it off as something super valuable. And that's not a great sign. That's not a great sign for the hobby.
Yeah. The problem, I don't know, lies in the using that card to create the cut auto as much as it does having a $2,000 a card product that you decided to do that in.
Put that in flagship. Put it in flagship and be perfectly fine.
Just, I feel, I think most collectors would think, if I'm paying $2,000 for a box that has one card in it, they're going to put a little more effort into it. It's not necessarily the specific thing, but it's the overall attitude of, well, what are you going to do? Well, this is what we're doing for a set fill. I'm trying to get boxes ready for the card show. You have some cards in there that are kind of box fillers, but my cards are going to be 50 cents. I'm not charging $2,000 a box like Topps is for this product. So maybe don't have the filler in this product.
And say what you will about rookie royalty, and yes, I agree, ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But you're getting a Caitlin Clark auto or an Angel Reese auto all on card, and you're getting one of the high-end inserts like a Downtown, like a Kaboom. Like if the filler is one of the other rookie Downtowns, it's not Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, okay, sure, but it's not a $10 card that they're slapping into a three. And my math, hold on, 3,000 per box for 2 cards. That's
we don't even know what that is.
I just threw the phone. That's how crazy that one is. But no, it's like $1,500 a card. You're saving. We are, if nothing else, professionals.
We are, boy. I hope Sports Card Radio is watching us, because they will not call this average.
Above average, 100%.
Way above average.
Average. We love you, Dustin. You're just average. You're right. You don't have this kind of entertainment out video. Lucky
By the way,
guy.
how many people did I just randomly text doing?
Oh gosh, I hope so many.
Hopefully you send them audio too.
Yeah. Hopefully nothing from the photo album. That's
Anyway, moving on. Joe's favorite YouTuber, Neo, had posted this on social media. It was a screenshot from Ask eBay. Apparently, eBay is now going to require phone number verification on your account before you can bid, meaning that they will not allow people to have multiple accounts unless they have burner. Maybe they got some burner phones and verified them that way, which is still possible. But for most people, that won't be the thing. And the Ask eBay, he asked the question, eBay answered it that way. I know it's a bot and whatnot, but it actually pointed out, without him asking about trading cards, that it is to curb the I forget exactly, I forget what term they use, but it's to curb their version of shill bidding, whatever. I don't know. I'm stopped. whatever the term is.
Shill bidding without saying shill
Let's
bidding.
just say shill bidding. Right? Wow,
yeah.
My brain just didn't work.
It's a half beer you've had, Mike. It's a half beer. This is what happens.
But they specifically mentioned having a lot of issues with the inappropriate bidding in trading card categories. So for all the people that don't want to think shill bidding happens, it's happening all the time on eBay. I see it all the time, especially the bigger consigners. Oh my gosh. If you want to try to get something that's being run on auction from one of the bigger consigners, you're not going to get it at the end. If you put in a snipe bid that's $50 higher, I guarantee you're not going to get it at the end. But yeah, I don't know if this is going to work, but it seems like it should be able to curb some of it at least.
I mean,
or not, maybe.
Well, it's funny. Last week we talked about the adding 2 minutes and then adding another 2 minutes and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh man, eBay just really encouraging shill bidding. Now they're doing this, so maybe they're, maybe the good force of eBay and the bad force of eBay are button heads in the conference room. And they all agree that card that I sent in is below a 7. Sons of bitches. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I mean, shill bidding is rampant. It's really, really bad with I don't want to call out any big consigners, but I'm going to. DC sports cards, I heard they were
that
really
was the one I was bidding on. I didn't say it, but yeah, that was the one I was bidding on.
And it is you wonder how many of these comps that people use at card shows that they use when buying stuff on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, how many of the comps they're pulling from eBay that are manufactured comps, they're show bid comps. So if eBay starts widespread pulling, being able to stop shill bidding, I wonder how much market cap the cards are going to lose, because people aren't going to be able to bid them up as much as they used to. Now, that doesn't mean that someone with a verified phone number can't go in and just keep, I own this card, I want to make sure that it holds value, and keep bidding to get to that tippy top. That doesn't mean that people won't still do that. So I don't know. Maybe it'll help curb shill bidding. Probably not. People will find a way around it.
My immediate thought when Mike said about this is, I guess I've ever seen the TV show Supernatural. A pair of brothers, they go out and they solve mysteries and they fight monsters, that sort of stuff. But they do it like an investigation every episode. So they'll a lot of times they'll end up being FBI agents where they put on suits, or they'll be Department of Conservation Natural Resources, and the people are like, well, I'm going to talk to your supervisor, and they call back to some other dude that's sitting in a house. He's got 10 cell phones all sitting down, all labeled as FBI, DCNR, all these different CIA, all these different things. So when one of the rings, he knows how to answer as somebody, the director of whatever. And so I thought to myself, that is what the hobby's going to turn into. We're going to have these people that are going to have shelves of cell phones. And so they know when they get a call of this one, okay, well, I know which account this one is, and then so they can answer it and verify it or whatever. Shill bidding is not going to go away. It's going to keep happening for sure.
It'll be a computer program. Someone will have a computer program. They'll have internet and phone numbers. I mean, that's what it's going to be if they really wanted to get into it.
Yeah. It really becomes obvious when you're bidding on a random 90s insert card through one of the big consigners, and all of a sudden there's a flurry of action at the end of it. Come on. I might be able to buy it on a Shohei Ohtani or a Jaden Daniels, somebody. There's a lot of people collecting, but yeah.
There's no way somebody's interested in that Kevin Garnett card. Right?
Exactly. Nobody... I think it might have been Shaq, but but still, yeah, whatever. Keep doing what you do. I don't care. I just won't buy from you. Yeah. Speaking of, I don't know. I don't have a transition because we weren't speaking of any of this. So let's just talk about PSA's comic book grading. Apparently now, I have not confirmed.
That was my favorite transition you've ever had.
They're not all going to be good. This is why Sports Card Radio didn't call us out as being average, because we don't even hit that.
We don't even meet that average. Yeah. Geez.
If Joe's not throwing his phone around, there's no reason to watch, right?
The thing is, it makes you appreciate segues even more. So
yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, they can't all be good, or people expect it.
If everything's a Justin Herbert, nothing's a Justin Herbert, Mike.
Exactly. Oh, funny story too. A little aside, because we like to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know how we always say there could be a boat in that box?
Yeah.
I went to visit my mom the other day. My mom's 82 years old. She doing fine for her age. She watches the Let's Make a Deal that's on in the morning. And she was telling me how the person on there gave up $10,000 to take what was behind the curtain. I said,
my
"But
God.
Mom, there could be a boat in
There
that
could be a boat in that box.
So
Oh my
just
God,
an aside.
too
Yeah,
good.
there you go. We got you there. Anyway, back to PSA, like we were talking about for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently, I have not confirmed this with my own independent sources, but it was heard by, I believe, Collect. I think it was Darren Ravel or one of the people who work for Collect had posted that they saw that the first day of grading, they actually graded 60% magazines and 40% comic books. I know I said about this, I feel like this will be the niche that PSA will find with this grading will be people that love sports, love using PSA to grade their sports cards. So of course, you have a sports magazine, you're going to send it to PSA.
Yeah, you mentioned this when we talked about grading, Mike. So I'll give you full kudos on this one for getting that right. Or as you say, give you your flowers. I'll give you your flowers on this one. Do I have one of those? Did you get me one?
Yes, I did.
Ah, yeah.
Wait,
I have it in a. You didn't buy it. You didn't say you wanted one.
Oh,
Oh, was that?
That was
That
back
was a
in
while.
February.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was,
February.
yeah, okay.
Again, you cannot buy these because this place sucked. But look at that. That's a nice.
That's
glass.
a nice looking glass.
I'll
so
sell
anyway,
you mine.
So it's a collector's item at this point.
Show used.
Put 1 in 1. Get a sticker from JSA. You'll be fine, or whoever. Yeah, no, you called this perfect, Mike. That it would magazine. As soon as you said it, it was like, oh damn, that makes so much sense. Because I don't really think that they can fight CGC in the comic book world. But CGC has a problem with their magazines. Like, people don't like the magazine cases that they have, and they just don't get a ton of magazine submissions. So, especially sports. Like, I watched, because it hit my algorithm, Jeff Wilson. I watched, he was going through some of his collection stuff with Teapot. And I think that's his Christian name. EP Pot. And they went up to Jeff's office, and he had a bunch of magazines from like the US Olympics from the 90s, right? The Dream Team. And they weren't graded. They were just in like magazine top loaders, basically. And I'm thinking, yeah, those are the ones that are going to get sent to PSA, because you want to encapsulate that. You want to have that protected, especially autographs and things like that. Real or not. And PSA, it just makes perfect sense, and it can go with it matches the collection. That's why I was always a little bummed out that CGC changed their label away from the blue, just because, especially non-sports, the combo of the card and the comic book made a lot of sense. In this aspect, PSA is really keeping their brand consistent, and I actually like that. I think having the sports card, having the magazine, what a cool display would it be if you have the magazine encapsulated and maybe, the USA Dream Team set all graded as well. I think so. There's a lot of potential with that.
Jeff doesn't collect sets.
Only, what was it? Like those inserts, if they're autographed. Oh, he's a big fan of those. He has the entire 86 Fleer set graded and mounted on his wall in his office. Wow. It's pretty ridiculous. It's like, this man has way too much money.
I hope they're all 10s.
This man's wife has way too much money.
I hope he bought the grade, not the card.
I hope so too.
Kudos to Mike making us watch the Jeff Wilson video a while back. That's still paying off with Joe's algorithm. I love that. It's great. As like Joe said, when Mike said this, it made total sense. Like Sports Illustrated, Beckett magazines, like they're made for people like us to send them in and get them graded, and it makes sense. Like Joe said,
should I send in Fantasy Football Index? My Fantasy Football Index collection?
Definitely, yes, 100%. Oh my gosh! And then mount it on your wall. You could have a whole wall.
30 years worth. 30 years worth.
I bet they're grading a lot of Beckett's too. So
yeah. Yep.
Okay. I want to get to this story, so I'm going to skip the other one here because I don't know we have time. But there's a lot of discussion about breaking and how it causes the price of wax to go up and how it's ridiculous. The breakers always come out and say, this is just the way it is. This is how it goes. Well, there are levels to all this, and I want to give this example. The new Topps Chrome baseball that is coming out. There is a major breaker. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want them to get exposure because they don't deserve it, but they're doing a 20 case pick your player break of Topps Chrome. I know baseball, pick your player, but 20 cases. The total price of all the spots adds up to $110,000. Okay, well, that's probably the going rate, right? Well, I saw another breaker post on Twitter their price for doing the same style break, same 20 case break, is $53,650, less than half. So the bigger breaker, just because they're the bigger breaker, is making an extra $56,000 over what this other breaker, who's able to break and make profit at the $53,000 he's breaking at. But the bigger breaker, because they're big, is going to charge 110 because they want to make more. And this is the fucking problem in the hobby. If you don't think it's a problem, that's because you're a fucking breaker that's trying to make all this kind of money doing this. And you don't want people to think about it and maybe look somewhere else to get a better deal of what they're breaking.
You're paying for the experience, Mike. You're paying for the experience.
Yeah.
We're paying for this experience of Mike having a beer. I'm loving this. Mike, I think we should, what's the name of the smaller breaker? Throw that name out there.
I think Grand Salami Sports Cards.
Yeah. So go.
You're looking to get into a break. Go check them out.
As opposed to someone charging double. By the way,
that's filthy to do that.
Breaking by player is crazy.
For baseball, that's probably at least 200 cards, right? 200 players, like probably 300.
I think players? It's 300 this year. I think they've made it bigger. Yeah,
like that is crazy. Like wrestling, I get you kind of have to do that because there's no teams, but to do that by player is crazy. That being said, yeah, but the problem is, like you said, Mike, this bigger breaker can get away with it because they're a bigger breaker. Mm-hmm. Like we had Dane from Dynasty Breaks. It's not him. He's not the one charging $110,000 for something that you can get for half. It probably breaks out to about half the cost per player, right? So like if Shohei's I'm just making up numbers. If Shohei's $1,000 in one, he's probably $500 in the other, and that's just ballsy. But they're getting away with it. That's the thing. If you can get away with it
over and over
again. Those booms aren't free though, Mike. I mean, if you're gonna boom, like the per boom dollar to boom ratio is that's the dollar to boom ratio is double. I think on that. If the math checks out, the dollar to boom ratio is 2 to 1. So it only would make sense that they're charging twice as much. Yeah.
I want to say, Mike, we need to give a shirt that says there are levels to all of this. That'd be a perfect shirt because there's so much of that in this hobby. And like this mentality, the bigger breaker, this mentality is the reason why the box prices are where they are, right? Like because there's going to be more and more money funneled into it because of that, and the people manufacturing the cards are going to see it. And they're going to be like, well, we need to charge more for this next year because look how much money they're making, and it's just a vicious cycle that is like. And again, I appreciate breaking. I appreciate people who that is their community and they like to get into breaks and that sort of stuff. But the bottom line is this vicious cycle is what is driving up the prices to $30,000 at the starting price. Like that is what's causing this.
Yeah. Well, as much as I really wanted to get into Tom Brady's niece getting a Topps Now card, we're going to make our final story this week. The competing Caitlin Clark 1-of-1 logo woman cards. Now, Joe talked about Panini rookie royalty a little while ago. And one of the problems is that all of these good cards are being released the hobby at the same time. And it just so happens that we talked about I think it was Flawless One of One Logo Woman being up for auction on Fanatics Collect. Well, the Immaculate One of One Logo Woman is also up for auction on Golden. And as of the time of recording this show, Monday morning, obviously, I looked up both and they were both at $180,000. Do we think one is going to outsell the other? Is there one more preferred? Like, it's a little odd having two of the one premier card for a player being available in an auction at the same time. Remember last year when that happened with the Paul Skeens rookie debut, and it was just a disaster when two of them were sold? No,
I don't remember that. Thank God. Give it time though. When we first talked about rookie royalty, my big takeaway was I'm kind of surprised that Panini is wasting this on one product. It's a composite product. At the end of the day, it is like a super high-end composite product. I don't understand why. I don't understand why they don't have a flawless release. They don't have an immaculate release, because the hobby would have supported it 100%, like financially. The hobby,
and I think it would have sold for more than what they sold for
combined. More, I think they would have made
even
more profit.
Individually, though. Don't you think
Yes.
Flawless WNBA would have sold for more than $3,000 a box?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, I don't know why they didn't do it this way. And this is the year to do it. If you're gonna do it, this is the year with Caitlin Clark rookie cards. You got one shot at it because they're going to do it anyway.
Because Fanatics isn't letting them print all that.
Hold on, Mike. Do you need it? Do you need it?
I might.
Do you need it? Are you not entertained?
Do any of us really need that, though, at this point? When Fanatics owns the printing company, maybe you can't get all that product out, especially when they're going to be printing basketball this fall. They're going to be printing football in the spring. Maybe they didn't have an opportunity to get that out. We've talked about way more things that were considered conspiracies than maybe a company putting the screws to the company that's suing them for being a monopoly.
And I've said that before too, about like some of the card quality, people throwing Panini under the bus about card quality, and I'm like, it's printed out of Fanatics facility. I mean, it is what it is. And companies like to screw with other companies they're in competition with. That's
being sued by.
Yeah, being sued by. Yeah. That being said, I guarantee you neither of those logo women have been anywhere near Caitlin, by the way, which is absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, like the Flawless should go for more. It should. Is there a National Treasures version of this card in this set?
But I mean, with the one-on-one of it all, like Panini one-on-one, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Talk about, like, there's definitely like a billion one-on-ones in there, right? Like that's what they like to print. So I'm be surprised if there's 5 more one-on-ones logo women to come out of the product.
Well, I don't know what the composite of the set is, right? So we know Immaculate's in it. We knew that. We know that Flawless is in it. It was National Treasures involved. Prism is not in there because they already had a Prism. I don't know if Select. I don't think Select is. I think that they are the thicker. I think they're the thicker, high end cards. So Immaculate, National Treasures would make sense, and then obviously Flawless. I like the Flawless one should be the most valuable one, but at the end of the day, they're the same card coming out of the same product for the same amount of money. I mean, it's right. It's not like normally when you have Flawless at $3,000 a box by itself, and then Immaculate's only like $1,000 a box. Right, this is all in the same product.
They do apparently have National Treasures too.
So there will be a
National Treasures, Flawless, and Immaculate are included in it. So
and
it should be
one of the most valuable cards will end up being what the hobby considers the true RPA, which is National Treasures out of 99. Like that will probably be way more valuable than it should be. Again, coming out of the same product. Like they shouldn't be any different, if you like one design more than the other, but I actually think Immaculate looks nicer than Flawless in a lot of cases and in National Treasures. So
I haven't looked any of these cards up, but there is either a Panini Instant, like one of the card sets in it is Panini Instant, or there's a Panini Instant something on the back or whatever, which would, if they did that would allow them to print the other products. But I'm pretty sure that like Panini Instant is part of this product in some way. But I haven't done any research.
No, Panini Instant is like tops now.
I know, but I'm pretty sure there's some stuff in this that is like a set of Panini Instant.
I don't think
I thought for sure. I heard on the podcast somebody was talking about that.
Maybe they were wrong. But we're right. Okay. They're wrong.
Right.
I know, and all that I've seen in that though, I haven't seen that at all. Okay. So I don't know. So.
Everybody should make sure to read Joe's Substack on Tom Brady's niece getting her own card. He's got a lot of takes on it. So.
Yeah,
I got.
We're gonna have to put that on the Patreon though. So
yeah,
got to wrap things up here today. So, is there anything else I want to mention before we go? No, probably not.
Come out to the card show. Come out to the card show.
I was gonna get there. This what is it? Saturday the 26th, I think it is.
Correct.
I don't have a watch on today. I can't look to see what the date would be. But yes, come see us if you're within driving range. Absolutely. If you're listening to the podcast on audio, which a lot of you like to do too, I can respect that. You don't want to see our ugly faces. Fair enough.
Faces for radio.
But yeah, let us know when you come to the show, and I'll have a little something for you because I love our viewers. These two, and I don't know, but
I love them too. EP.
He hates them.
I do not hate.
God, he might learn who some of you are if you actually are physically in front of him. Like that's what it would take you to physically be in front of EP, so he'll know who you are.
I do love our viewers.
I'm gonna try and take some. I know. I'm gonna try and take some content, like some video and stuff like that of the card show. Maybe we'll put a little thing together. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll try and record some stuff. Maybe I'll record us on the golf course. Maybe
that would be a bad idea.
That would be a bad idea. Yeah.
Well, people see how fat we really are if we do golf videos,
and also how good we are at golf. They don't want to see.
That's true. Yeah.
Intimidated.
We might become a golf channel overnight.
Oh Lord.
All right, guys. That was a pretty good chat this week. I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See ya, boys.
Adios.